Okay, Auto Club, hot lap. We're gonna watch the full thing, and then we will go back and break it down. This is the out lap. This setup right here, 3 through 4, is very important. This track is very momentum dominant, so you're gonna want to maintain a ton of momentum to run a fast time. Another thing to notice here, very important, is to not get completely off the gas. There's not going to be any need to, I don't think, with this weather. Just brake and throttle at the same time. Notice I'm leaving almost a car in between me and the wall right there. There is some drag that you can pick up from the wall if you drive too close to it. You'll be a little bit faster if you drive away from the wall. And qualifying lap is going to be top for 1 and 2, bottom for 3 and 4. And that'll give you a 39.934. One thing that's very important to know is that this is going to be a race at sunset. So we're going to go back here and we're going to take a look at the setup for this lap here. And then actually in terms of, actual setup, it's 8-to-1 steering ratio and then 60% brake bias and then adjusting it further down to 57. Steering ratio is whatever is comfortable for you all, but that's just what I have in here. So, and then yeah, brake bias is 60. But yeah, so this is going to be a race right at sunset. If you look, it'll say, if you open a test session, it'll say that sunset is at 7:21 p.m. at Auto Club. So that was the time that I set it for. I ran a few laps, as you can see down here. And so this should be about what time qualifying is after a little bit of a practice session before the race. So we'll see, what that ends up being like. The settings are also warm on here. These lap times are going to vary, but let's take a look at this and break it down. Okay, so we're driving in. We're going to wait until we get to the sign pretty much to do anything. You're going to drive this in a lot deeper than you think you need to. To the number 2 sign is where it'll start to change. That's where we're transitioning into like 15 and 20%, 15, 15, 20, 20, something like that. Then once the car's rotated a little bit, we're pretty much trying to get right back on the throttle, half throttle, and then slowly increasing it up to full throttle. And so we're back on full throttle way before we're at the apex. We're before the billboards are done. And then we're just kind of riding right beneath this seam, right in this lane the entire time. You could get a little riskier and carry a bit more speed closer to the wall, but it's not really worth it, in my opinion. Drive down on the apron. Then we're going to drive straight at the royal purple paint here. So we're going to be all the way up there. Entry, this is important, 191 going into the turn. I don't know if we'll pick up another mile an hour or not. And again, we're never coming completely off the throttle. We're driving it in way farther than you think you need to. We're in between the 1 and 2 sign. You can see the 1 sign. If I back it up a little bit, you can see it right there. So we're going to get off the throttle a bit, and then we're doing a little bit of a brake drag, never really getting off. Momentum is super important here, and I think the track is going to be cool enough to actually do that. It's very brief, but then once we're on the throttle again and we're off the brake, we are getting back on full throttle very quickly. So let's see if there's a marker. So yeah, right at the Auto Club, we're pretty much at full throttle there. And then we're riding that, we're straddling that seam, driving the car up its right rear, trying to maintain as much momentum as possible. And then we are keeping it away off the wall so we don't get any of that wall drag, leaving almost enough room for a car to be in between there. And then we're going to have a low entry and a late apex. Well, let's go back and look at that blip that we got on the brake there. It happens pretty quick. There's just a ton of grip at this time of the day with this track temperature. Again, the track temperature is set to warm. This is just a little bit after sunset. We're driving down towards it, towards the apron. And then as soon as we think we're going to hit that line, we're flooring it and straightening the wheel up, and we're driving straight up the track. And the throttle's just rotating the car for us at this point. And we're kind of letting the car slide a little bit, but what I focus on is basically just driving right at a spot beyond the paint here, beyond the Auto Club 4 turn 4 sign, uh, the royal purple sign, just like kind of driving right at the stands, pretty much. And the car, like I said, the throttle's rotating it for us anyway. So if you can, the farther down the straightaway you can come up to the wall, obviously the better. You know, you're not pushing or sliding it. But you do want to come up pretty quick because you don't want to oversteer the car and push. So that is the hot lap. There you go. That'll give you a 39.934. And then in terms of the race, this is going to be a lot of fun, I think. This is going to be a blast. We are going to be doing a late apex off of 1 and 2 and off of 3 and 4. It's going to be, I think for maybe the entire race because of the time of day, this might be, I'm just guessing, but I think we might be able to never fully get off of the gas unless we're avoiding a wreck or something like that. But partial throttle, partial brake on entry, that's going to help the car rotate. We can look at, that's too far. So we can look at this right here. Bottom is going to be the way to go. I tried right here, to my point, I tried running middle, I tried running high later in a run, and it just wasn't as fast. You're going to be faster. I was faster at least 10 laps, 15 laps into the run when I was running bottom. If you move up, it was just slower for me. So I would say master or get really comfortable running the bottom line. Definitely there's going to be a lot of multi-groove racing here. It's going to be really exciting, but I think that bottom is going to be fast throughout the entire race. It might not be, you know, turning crazy hot lap times, really fast lap times at first, but overall I think that's what's going to make everybody maintain their speed if they're running that. So those are my opinions. I hope this helps. You know, again, this is I'm just one guy on the internet, hopefully, you know, helping you all out. Just showing y'all what's helped me. One other thing, be careful with it being loose off of 3 and 4 when you're running the bottom. When you're running high line, it's not that big of a deal, but you got to put a little bit more wheel in it to keep it lower. You want to get in the gas soon, and yeah, it's just not. That's not it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing to the channel, those that have. This has been a lot of fun, especially answering things in the comments and just helping out where I can. You know, the lap times and all of that might be different tomorrow and any other race where I might do a guide or any sort of prediction on what I think it's going to be like, but I really appreciate you all watching and hope to see you all out there.